Most people are terrified of being alone. That's why the television is always on, why the phone never leaves their hand, why silence feels uncomfortable, because silence forces you to meet yourself. And the truth is, a lot of people don't actually like their own company. But somewhere along the way, especially as I've got older, I started realizing something. Solitude, it's not a punishment. It's not sadness. And it's definitely not loneliness. In many ways, it's freedom. Because when you can genuinely enjoy your own company, when you no longer need constant noise and attention, validation or distraction, you become very hard to manipulate. So in this video I want to talk about why solitude might actually be one of the most important strengths that you can develop as you get older. Not isolation, not shutting the world out, but learning how to be comfortable in your own skin. Now, I'm Dave, and this is the Over 65 Reset. So, number one, solitude and loneliness are not the same thing. I think this is where most people get it wrong. They hear the word solitude and immediately picture somebody sitting alone in a dark room, depressed and disconnected from the world. But as I've said previously, solitude and loneliness are completely different things. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. In fact, some of the loneliest people I know are constantly around others. Always busy, always socializing, always talking, but never actually at peace. Real solitude is different. It's choosing to spend time alone without feeling empty. And honestly, I think that becomes more important as you get older. Because eventually the kids grow up, people move away, work colleagues disappear, and after retirement, life naturally becomes quieter. And if your happiness depends entirely on being surrounded by other people all the time, retirement can hit you like a train. And that's why I think learning to enjoy your own company is a skill, a genuine life skill. For me, some of my clearest thinking happens when I'm out walking the dogs in the woods like now. Early in the morning if possible. No noise, no meetings, no nonsense. Just thinking. And the older I get, the more valuable that feels. Number two, solitude clears your head. Modern life is unbelievably noisy. Phones, news, social media, emails, people wanting something from you every 5 minutes. Most people simply never stop consuming, and because of that, they never actually think. They just react. One of the biggest benefits of solitude is clarity. When you remove all of the noise, your brain finally gets the chance to breathe. You start seeing situations properly. You start realizing what actually matters and what doesn't. And I've noticed this massively over the last few years. Some of my best decisions were made away from people, not around them, including the decision to retire. That wasn't made in a noisy room full of opinions. It was made quietly, albeit in my office, but I'd closed the door and was sitting thinking about it. Thinking, walking, reflecting. And once I'd made the decision, I knew that was the power of solitude. It allows you to hear your own thoughts instead of everybody else's. And honestly, I think a lot of people have avoided solitude for exactly that reason. Because when everything goes quiet, reality gets louder. You stop chasing approval. Now, this is a big one. When you're younger, a lot of your life revolves around being approved. You want people to like you, agree with you, accept you. You worry about what people think about your clothes, your car, your house, your opinions. But solitude slowly changes that, because the more comfortable you become alone, the less desperate you are for validation. And that's incredibly freeing. You stop needing to impress people. You stop performing. You stop saying yes to things you don't want to do just because you're frightened of disappointing someone. I think age helps with this as well. By the time you get into your 60s, you start realizing something very important. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to spend much time thinking about you anyway. And once that finally sinks in, life becomes lighter. You start living more honestly. You start doing things because you want to do them, not because they look good to other people. And that's a powerful shift. Solitude resets your priorities. One thing I've noticed is that when life gets quieter, you start seeing what actually matters, not what society told you matters. What genuinely matters to you. For years, many of us spend our lives running. Work, bills, responsibilities, deadlines, constant movement. And somewhere in all of that noise, you can lose yourself a little bit. Solitude gives you space to reconnect with the person that you actually are. For me, that's become very simple things. Walking the dogs, going to the gym, being outdoors, making these videos, spending time with Julie, my wife, slowing things down mentally, even if life is still active physically. And the strange thing is, the older I get, the less impressed I am by status. Peace matters more now. Calm matters more. Protecting your energy matters more. A quiet morning walk means more to me than a lot of things I used to chase years ago. And I don't think that's giving up. I think that's wisdom. Learning to be alone makes you stronger. Now, I genuinely believe this. If you can sit quietly with your own thoughts and feel comfortable, you've developed something many people never do. Inner stability. Because eventually, life forces all of us into moments of solitude. retirement, loss, change, growing older. At some point the noise fades, and if you've never learned how to simply be with yourself, that can become frightening. But if you have learned it, well, solitude becomes peaceful instead of painful. You stop fearing empty spaces. You stop needing constant distractions. And ironically, I think it actually improves your relationships too. Because when you no longer need people to complete you, you start appreciating them properly instead of clinging to them. And that's a very different thing. Very different. I think one of the biggest misunderstandings in modern life is the idea that being alone automatically means something has gone wrong. I don't believe that at all. Some of the strongest, calmest and most grounded people I know are perfectly comfortable spending time on their own. Not because they hate people, but because they've learned how to enjoy peace. And maybe that's something worth thinking about as we get older. Learning to enjoy your own company. Learning to slow the noise down. Learning that solitude can actually recharge you instead of frighten you. Because once you stop fearing being alone, a lot of other fears disappear as well. Now, if any of this resonated with you, let me know down in the comments. I would genuinely be interested to hear whether you enjoy solitude or whether you struggle with it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Now, I'm Dave, and this is the Over 65 Reset. And whatever you do next, don't slow down.